So what's up guys, Ratsudan here. Welcome back to a brand new video guys. So in this video we're going to be learning file handling in Python. So guys, it's a very important part when it comes to playing a part in web application when you work with Python. So basically we're going to learn all the basics you need when you get started with working with files in Python. So we're going to work with several functions, for example creating a Python file, or reading a Python file, creating a file, updating a file, deleting a file, and so on. Alright guys, so we're going to do everything. Before we get started guys, if you could subscribe down below and give me a sub and also like this video, that will be much appreciated guys. So anyway guys, let's get started. So the first thing guys I want to say, I have just a simple folder open called Python files, and I also have opened this up in the file explorer right here. So it's pretty much empty, we don't have anything, so we're just going to start from scratch. Alright, so I'm just going to create a file called app.py. So you can name whatever you want, and then as you guys can see, we have created this file called app.py. Alright guys, so the first I wanted to go over is the basic syntax of file handling itself. Okay, so we have read, append, write, create, and sort of stuff, and we also have when you work with text and binary, which I'll go over in a bit. Okay, so just as the syntax works, we could say you can name it whatever you want. I'll call f as a file, f, and just as a syntax, you just have a function called open, and whatever your file is going to be, if I just say text.txt, so that's going to be the file, or even demo.txt. You can name it whatever you want. So this is how the basic syntax of the a file system is basically going to be. So you can this is how you write the file, append to file. This is how the basic syntax is going to be. And if you want to write to a file, you're going to have some commands as well. Okay, so just wanted to show you guys the basic syntax of the file. All right, so guys, so first of all, let's take a look on how to actually read from a file, right? So first of all, let's actually learn how to read from a file. So I'm just going to create a new text file here. Okay, I'm going to go new. So we're going to go from like read a text file, and then we learn how to create or write a text file, and then delete a file. All right, so the order doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm just going to create a new file. Okay, I'm just going to create text document, and I'm going to call demo.txt. okay, which you can just call it document because anyway it's going to be a txt file. Okay, so right there you can see it's updated. So guys, we're going to basically put some text inside that. So you can say hello world. Okay, something like that, hello world, or whatever you want. So I'm just going to save it like that. I'm going to put the hello world inside that and just get rid of that. Alright guys, so we have some information inside this file called demo.file.text, and we want to be able to read whatever we have inside that file. So that's what we're going to do guys. So we that's going to be based on a command. Alright, so first of all, Python has to open the particular file, which is going to be this one. So by chance, I'm just going to say by chance, if you stored it somewhere, you have your app running in the desktop folder, but your text file running in your maybe like a pictures folder or a videos folder, and also you want to basically run the Python file itself, then the path or the text file is going to be different, right? So what you have to do guys, just assume mine is going to be in the downloads or something, this is going to be my file or something, then you have to click right there and basically copy the path, and then basically you have to simply specify whatever the path of your file. Okay, just simple as that. You just want to replace this with whatever you're going to basically specify with. Okay, so if you have a different source or different folder, for me it's just a directory folder, the main directory folder, so I don't need to give any path. It's just going to automatically create some read and update the file. Okay, so basically first of all, as I told you, we have to open the file, which is going to be demo.txt. okay, and then we have a command which is gonna help us read the file, and that's basically you want to be able to pass a r inside that and inside string. Okay, and then this is basically going to say we are opening this file in read mode, which is going to be you can't write anything to the file, you only can read it. Okay, so that's what we want. Okay, and we'll actually print whatever is inside that file. So for that you just have to say print. We just take a look whether it's working. Say f, which is the file you opened, and you want to say which is in the read mode, and you want to say read, and that's a function. Okay, and make sure you save your file as well. Just get this up, come on. Okay, I'll save this, and I'll say you can run it different ways you want. I'm going to say python app.py. Okay, and if you run it, there we go, we get hello world. So basically we have, if I open this text up, we basically have hello world. So if I just copy this, paste it, and I say hello world, I'll be like, I'll like, what's your, come on, what's your favorite language, okay, something like that. It should be okay, okay, something like that. If you say what's your favorite language and save it up like that, and then you can run this file, and which is gonna also give you the same thing, which you're gonna basically read. We are opening this file in the read mode, and basically we're gonna read whatever content is inside that. So that's what we need, guys. So we know how to actually, I'm just clearing it up, so we know how to actually read from a file, okay. And now guys, also if you want to read some part of a file, now if you only want to read, for example, I show you, so if you want to read like the first 5 index of the file or the first 5 lines or something, you can specify inside that. Maybe for example, if I just put one over here, and if I run the file, you can see I'm just getting h. So basically h is basically this one, so you can basically work with the index. If you want to get the whole thing, I'm sure it's going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 it's going to be less than 20, I guess. So if I just pass like 15 or somewhat like that, and if I read the file, I'm only get, yeah, there we go, I'm only going to get the first 15 characters, okay, which is going to be only this one. If you want to go for the next one, then you can simply say, I don't know, like 20 or something, and then if you run it, and you're gonna get hello world and what. So that's all, guys. So very simple. You can actually read the files in, not the whole file itself, you can read part of the file through just passing an index number right there, which is gonna loop over the file, or read the file and find, and just gonna output, print it up, okay. Alright guys, and also there's also much more to when it comes to reading. You can read, you can return one line by using a readln. Basically if you wanna convert, if you, for example, if you want to just output hello world inside that, you can basically say read line, okay. That's what, just get the braces, and then if I run the app, then you only get the first line. So it's gonna basically run the first line, first line, whatever is inside that demo.txt, whatever is it, is gonna run the first line of that, right? Alright guys, so we know how to run the first line. If you want to get the second line as well, it's pretty simple. You don't need to pass anything or something. You have to just copy that and paste it up like that and save it, and if you run the file again, it's gonna bring you a console, it's gonna print you the second line as well. So you can just loop over it until the file ends, okay. That's it for that as well. Now if you can also for example, you can just read it, and you don't want just to be opened, right? You just don't want it to be opened, like, that's not a good practice. So for that, guys, once you print to do anything you want, then you can get the file, and you can simply close up this file, okay, which is also built-in function, which wouldn't return anything, but it's a good practice having just to open your file, and as you normally do, you also would be able to close your file. So that's what you want to do, guys, okay. So yeah, that's just a part of read, okay, just reading file operations in Python. And now we'll just take a look, guys, at actually how to write to an existing file, or simply how to create a file and stuff, okay. So let me just copy this, let me just comment this out, okay. So just for a reference, okay, I'm just gonna say, what could I say, I'm just gonna say read from a file, okay, read, I'm just gonna read file, okay. So this is going to be basically read from a file. All right, so yeah, and now let's take a look, guys, how to write from a file. So it doesn't mind, guys, I'm just going to put it like that, get rid of that, and this is basically going to read from a file, guys. And now let's look, guys, how to write to an existing file, okay. So you know what, no, anyway, you guys, hopefully you should have been copied or something. I'm just going to get rid of, so it's going to be a bit clean. So we learned how to read from a file, guys. Now we'll actually learn how to write to an existing file, okay. Say write, I'm just gonna say write to an existing file, okay. So we're basically gonna learn how to write to an existing file. Guys, I'm just gonna because for a reference, I'm just not sure what to do. So let's get to this. Okay, let's say that's gonna be read for a file, and this is gonna be to write for a file, okay. And I've just commented up there, okay. And now, guys, let's learn how to write to a file. All right, so just to write to a file, guys, we write to a file means yeah, just to write, just to append, or basically basically whatever you want, whatever you want to be in, whatever information you want your file to contain. For example, if I want to add more stuff, rather than double clicking and just typing this up and saving it, I can directly run it in my code itself in Python code. So let's actually take a look. And also guys, and one more thing I want to point out, in existing file, like writing to an existing file, you have two options to straight away write it. So if you want to write, if you want to overwrite it, so you're going to write it. So that's what I'm saying, right? The W is going to basically going to go overwrite it, and the A, which is going to be append, is going to add to your file. So that's to, let's actually go over while we do it. Okay. Alright guys, so the first one I'm gonna append some stuff. Now basically, if you take a look, I'm gonna have hello, what's your favorite programming language. I'm also gonna append something called what's your favorite YouTube, let's say who's your favorite YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna add something here to the next line. Okay, so let's add that question from here, right, to an existing file. So for that, you want to say, obviously you want to get the file and you want to say open, and you're going to specify what's the name of the file. I'm going to say demo.txt, and then I'm going to give it the mode, what mode I'm going to open this file. In this case, I'm going to open this file A, which is basically going to append to the file. So I'll open here and I say append to file. Okay, so obviously append to an existing file. Okay, this is what it's gonna do. Now it's gonna create up so it's basically coming under write to an existing file. So we're gonna append to a file. So when I say open up a demo.txt, and now what I want, guys, I just simply want I want to just write something. Okay, so that's the command. You want to get the open f, which is a variable which is gonna which is equals to the text which you have, the txt text document which you have opened up in the mode of append. So you can't completely read or read anything. You are only able to write. Okay, just to write anything, whatever you want to add to it, because we have opened this up in a, which is append. Okay, and then guys, we want to pass. Okay, let's say who is your favorite YouTuber. Okay, let's say who's your favorite YouTuber, and then once you're done with that, I told you, which is a good practice, you want to be able to always close your file. Okay, and then close it up. And okay, and if you if I get my console or terminal, whatever, and if I just I run this app. So first of all, let's take a look at the app itself, or the file. We have nothing, so it's going to be hello world, what's your favorite programming language. So once we run the file, guys, it's done. So once you take a look, it's going to give you who is your favorite YouTuber. Alright, so that's how it's giving up. So there we go, we have appended to the file as well. It's going to ask, basically we had only this before, and we also have extra text inside that. So that's what we've gone, guys. So pretty cool. Okay, and now we know how to append to the file. All right, so which is pretty simple, and make sure also the good practice which you simply close it. Okay, and now guys, we'll actually learn how to overwrite whatever content you have. Okay, which is very simple. You just want to, as I told before, you're opening this file with a mode of A, which is going to be appending. Okay, so rather than appending this to the file, I just want to basically write, just replace this, whatever is inside the file. I don't want anything. Delete this and replace this with who's your favorite YouTuber. So for that, we just need to change the append to W, which is going to be write. Okay, and let's actually take a look. Let's run the file, and now if you check a look right there, so it's going to be only who is your favorite YouTuber, which we have opened this up in the write mode, and we are going to write the whole completely. We want to write the whole file. Okay, so this is going to be append. Okay, so let's say, so yeah, that's as far as that's just, it's very simple, guys. No, that's what that's how it works. Okay, and now just for a formation, okay, I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, I'm just gonna paste it up here, append to the file, which is gonna be AW, and I'll just comment it right there. Okay, so make sure it's not gonna sort of confuse you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna say write to file. Okay, write to file. Okay, and now comment this up as well. Okay, so you know how to read a file, and then put this up right there. So read a file, append to a file, and then write to a file. Okay, and we are also on the working in the write to an existing file as well. Okay, And now guys, we're going to learn how to create a new file. Okay, so demo.txt is this one. So we're going to basically create an automatic file through Python. Okay, so for that what we also have a command called x, which is basically going to create a file and return. And basically if there's no file, if there's no other files existing, then it's going to give you an error. I'll actually show you guys what it's going to do. Okay, okay, so now let's create a new file. Okay, which I'm gonna say f, which obviously you want to just open up, and it's gonna be let's say demo2.txt. okay, so this is just demo. I'm gonna open this up of demo text. Okay, and then if there's obviously no file, so I'm just gonna pass in x, which is basically gonna create the file. Okay, now it's gonna be x, and now okay, that's what we want. Okay, so this is basically gonna create a file. Okay, that's what we want. It's basically going to create a file. And now if you save this up and if you just take a look, now this is just called a demo, so we're going to create a new file called demo2, which we don't have right now. So you get my console, and I'll just clear that up, run the code, and if you check this right there we go, we have a new file called demo2, which has nothing inside that. Okay, which is completely empty. Okay, so there we go, we created our own file as well, which is pretty easy. Okay, guys, so the results, the basic, we pass x is that it's going to result a new empty file is created. Okay, so an empty file is basically created in this when you pass x. And you also can create a file if it doesn't exist at all. That's also new. The other way, basically you're gonna just pass right to it, which is w, as we learned before. It's just as simple, guys. You're just gonna pass w in it, which is also gonna do the same thing once you run it. And obviously let me just get rid of that. Okay, and once you just run the file, and there we go, it's also creating the same file. Okay, that's just a simple logic in it. Okay, so so that's what, so you know how to create a file, and having an x here, which is gonna basically return a new empty file which is created, which is created, and then w, whatever you pass, is gonna also create a file which does not exist. Okay, so that's what you did right here. Okay, alright guys, that's it just for writing an existing file. Okay, I'm just gonna comment this up, and that's how it goes. Okay, write to an existing file. Get rid of that. Alright, so that's what we learned. And now guys, we learn how to delete a file, which is going to be our last thing. Okay, what we're gonna do. Alright guys, so we'll basically now learn how to actually delete a file. Alright, so now I'm just gonna comment this up here, saying, just go up and I say delete file. Okay, and now I'm just going to delete a file. So guys, first of all, you want to say, just to delete a file, you can't straight away delete it, like, you know, just open up a file and do something like that. It doesn't delete. Okay, for that, what you have to do, guys, you have to import something. So first of all, you want to be able to import the operating system, or OS. Okay, so first of all, you want to make sure you import the OS. Okay, and then you want to say os.remove, because it's actually going to be a administrative or sort of a command that's going to basically take up right there. Okay, so we're going to basically import OS, and from OS is going to basically remove the file, whatever file that's existing in a directory or folder, whatever. Okay, and this one, I'm just going to say I want to remove this demo2, which I created recently. Okay, so I'm going to say demo2.text, and make sure you always have this .text. Make sure that Python knows it's going to be a text file or a text document. And now if you save it, guys, and if you take a look right now, okay, so you say, oh, so remove, and now if you take a look right there we go, our file is removed. We had the file called demo2, which is actually removed. So that's what we want, guys. Very simple. So if I just give so that's what we need, just to delete a file, and it's a simple process. You want to say like that's going to delete, but actually, guys, also one situation might permit, sometimes you can actually name this something like you know, you can give it some other sort of a name. For example, you can give it you can give it a like, you know, if I can give like demo22, which doesn't already exist. So how will basically Python gonna reply for it? So if I just run the code, it's gonna basically give you an error saying demo22 is not exist and it cannot find. So that's what I'm saying. This is basically gonna search meaning basically gonna search. If it exists, it's gonna remove, else it's gonna basically return an error. So guys, so let's actually take a look and check if the file exists. So that's a cooler way of doing it. We're going to basically check whether whatever file I named is going to exist, and if it does exist, then basically we want that to be deleted, and or we want to be able to print saying that the file do not exist. So something that's pretty practical way of doing it. Okay, so this is the basic file, deleting the basic file. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and okay, just put it up there, and this is also going to be delete file. By the way, I have all the code linked in the description. You can just straight away get it, and guys, look at it up and just work with it. Okay, delete file, which is also going to be delete file, but we're going to basically check. Okay, we're going to say check. Okay, check existence. Okay, we're just gonna check exists. I'm gonna check whether the file actually exists and do give a practical way of deleting a file. Alright guys, so for that also you also want to import the OS. Okay, yeah, okay, and then we're gonna have a if condition. Okay, so I'm gonna say if the OS dot path, so you can actually pass the path of it, and you want to say OS dot path exists. Okay, and now I'm going to say demo.txt, which is my file right there, demo.txt. And then what I'm going to say, guys, if this is actually going to exist, okay, and then I'm going to run a loop there. So I'm going to say os.remove, which is going to be the same thing, and I just want to remove the file, which is going to be demo.txt. Okay, so I want to say like that. So if there is no file existing, before we got an error for demo 22, which didn't actually exist. If we get an error, we want to be able to return or just print something practical or make something that makes sense. So I want to say print, and then we want to specify, and also by the way you have to say else. Else if the OS or path this file exists, you want to remove the file. Else you just want to print something up, something that the user can understand rather than the error. You want to say the file does not, something like that, does not exist. Okay, so there we go. So basically what are you going to do? You're importing the AOS, you're checking whether this demo.txt, the basic this file exists. If it exists, you're going to remove it. If it doesn't exist, rather than giving this kind of unreadable error, you're basically going to print saying the file does not exist, which is going to be the same thing as just, okay, just same thing. Okay, now we'll just run. Before we run, I'm just going to say demo.to. okay, I'm just going to pass this demo.to, which is okay. If this exists, you want to be able to remove this file. So basically I'm going to say demo.to, and if this file doesn't exist, it's gonna give us file does not exist. So let's run the Python code for now, and if you see, the file doesn't exist because we only have a file called demo. And now if I just take the 2 off, we just call it demo, which is already existing a file called demo. And now if we run this file, there we go, our demo file is basically deleted. So basically we ran a file, we checked whether it does that exist or not. If it existed, we removed it, and if it didn't exist, or if it does exist, we're basically deleting the file and saying, you also can have a print function here saying the file is successfully deleted. Or if it doesn't exist, we're going to just print this rather than saying win error 32, which is a unspecified file or something like that. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense. So guys, this is just to delete the file. All right, now we're going to learn how to delete the folder itself. Okay, so I'm just going to comment this up, and let me put this here, put the code itself. Okay, and I'm just gonna save this up, and now I'm gonna do delete a folder. Okay, I'm just gonna say delete a folder. Okay, and now guys, which is also simple, let me say I'm gonna let me just create a folder here. Okay, I'll call this folder demo. Okay, that's what this folder is basically gonna be. Alright, so I want to be able to import the OS as always when we delete items. Okay, and we want to get the OS module or package, and then we want to say rmd remove the directory. So rmdir is remove directory, and you want to basically pass demo. Okay, so that's what you want, which is our folder right there. So let's clear this up and we run our file and see. And there we go, we have nothing. We have the folder we created is simply deleted by a command which we said we imported OS and remote demo. So simply we just remove them, pretty easy. So that's about it for the video, guys, and hope you guys really enjoyed this. And it's a very simple video which covers a lot of stuff, and this is not at all, you know, like a very advanced level. It's basically intermediate, but still you guys really want to know this, and you know, be able to really easily work with this file handling when it comes to managing CSV files and so on. So it's pretty easy to learn. So that's just it for the video, guys. Now basically I have all the code linked in the description. I have my GitHub if you want to follow me, and also please give a subscribe to my channel. We are actually almost near 100 subscribers, and I really love to see you know, crossing the 100 mile and making more videos and actually achieving more subscribers. And all thanks to you guys. Please give a like if you love the video, and also, as I said, all the link is in the description. Alright guys, that's been it for the video. As I told, if you could drop a sub and a like, would be very appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later.